Season's greetings to Two Balls and a Mic, episode 143. I am a sad, sad bunny in sad, sad San Diego. San Diego Loyal, San Diego Wave, and the San Diego Padres are eliminated from playoff contention. Virtually all in the same day. A dark time to be a San Diego sports fan. We're going to talk about it. We have Alan Underwood. We have the scoop. We've talked to players after the matches. Some surprises. Some people are staying. Some people might be going. Some players might not come back for next year. That's definitely going to happen. So we'll go ahead and talk about that, both San Diego Wave and San Diego Loyal. We're also going to go ahead and talk about Champions League. Champions League starting that back up. We have the last couple of games in the group stages before the playoff style match. Just scarred by playoffs at this point. We're also going to talk about the Two Balls and a Mic League, football, fantasy football, and all that good stuff.
Fucking won today.
We did win it at fantasy football, but before that, I just want to say thank you to everybody in the San Diego soccer community. Literally both outdoor professional soccer teams, except for San Diego Albion losing Maryland team side. I'm just all over the place. Albion winning 2-0 against Maryland, moving on to the next phase. Exciting. The only team soccer-wise that won. I think Inter and UPSL got destroyed. But everybody who's made this season happen, really appreciate it. And you guys are the absolute best, just because it's been a cool mix of it's another press pass to go to the San Diego Waves first year. It was really cool. Honestly, there's a chance that we can go and make it to next year. But with that, before we bring Alan on, I want to retire this year's Hang in the Rafters.
Eres un pendejo, güey, ¿no?
Press passes.
Oh.
And that sums up all kinds of San Diego soccer happening here.
Wow.
Alan, we're going to bring you in after that incredibly stupid 10 seconds of life that nobody is getting back. We hang up our press passes for this year for San Diego Loyal. Let's start there. Disappointing. Very sad. It was just not a good time. It was not fun. There was no joy in me in Torero Stadium whatsoever since the moment I stepped on. I'm not gonna lie. There was a cloud of darkness for me personally. Alan, yesterday was tough.
Yeah, it was. I think there was some apprehension going into the game based on who the opponent was. 2v7, I don't think really paints the picture of how the two teams have played against each other in the past couple of matchups. And there was some nervousness, but I think early on the crowd was in it. They were supportive. Even after the first goal went in, like, people really wanted this to turn out well. They wanted to end the day on a positive note after so much disappointment.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it was obviously not to be. A lot of disappointing things, even some embarrassing things happening.
Yeah.
And not the way you want to end the season based on how the season went in its entirety.
I don't even know. I mean, that's a great starting point. It's just in general. It's just that it was a disappointing end in all phases. Obviously, there was some point where projectiles were thrown from the section from 109.
That was bad.
So some people, if you know of any information, just move forward and
snitch, homie.
I mean, whatever that means to you, whatever that section means to you. I know it means a lot to an awful lot of people, and things like that just desecrate the name of everybody who's worked so hard this season and the last 3 seasons to build what it is. So that's just not okay. I understand the frustration. I understand everything, the anguish. Since this game started, before the match started.
No. since like a week ago, you had a bad feeling about this. You can be honest.
I can be honest. Even
he didn't think Loyal was going through, guys.
I didn't. I kept saying this is the last game at Torero, and I really say that
Thanks
with
for fucking manifesting
with knowledge of
it's
nothing beyond everything that's been said already. Some leaks on Ticketmaster or whatever. Like, I think that was the last game at Torero, and I had been thinking this, and I didn't like the way that this year was ending. Just the way the players were coming into things. Jack Blake out, question mark. Moon, is he in? Is he out? Even if he was in, right? Like, he hasn't played in how many games? Like, you sure you want him there, you're going to throw him there, but how effective would he have been in the long run? But I just had this feeling where I knew bad things were destined for San Diego. It's just funny. It's just like... this is the first time where I'm like, I've always been a San Diego sports fan, and like obviously it's like, oh, like San Diego is cursed and this and this and this, but like now seeing the players, some like in what we've been doing and just going along with everybody for a whole season and getting to know the people, the ins and outs. Let me tell you, okay, the saddest person I saw at Torero, and I'm sorry just to start this way, but. And was really, really like affected was Kitman, Coach Beto. Coach Beto was just distraught, like speechless, like a lot of us were. Like, but that man like works his ass off every single day with a smile. And if you don't know Coach Beto, honestly, the best like inside look at San Diego Loyal, literally from the inside. But in general, I think that's kind of what. That felt just a gut punch of, I hated it. I hated it. I hate it right now. It's so bad. It's so bad. I know, Al, I'm sorry for being morose and woe is us, but like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I think that's the bad part.
I'm not surprised.
Isn't that like a coping mechanism for San Diego sports though? Like, you expect your teams to get eliminated in the most or the worst way possible, the most heartbreaking way possible, right? Like, Padres had a chance to move past the Phillies, and they just couldn't come up in big situations like late in the game, which is like the typical old school Padres, right? They were never like out of the games. It would always be like, runners on first and second, they're down by one, and then they ground into a double play. And then with Wave, like it was heartbreaking, but it's also like this moment of like women's national team like excitement with Crystal Dunn coming back. And so like it was heart-wrenching, but it was also like you understood the moment and what it meant for Crystal Dunn. But it's also just like a dagger because you've played so well to get into a position to make the finals as an expansion team, and you just come up short. We saw this with the Sockers, not this past year, but in previous years, where it's, it's a golden goal in overtime after winning like every game but one. I think it's just a coping mechanism for San Diego sports fans to just always expect that your team's not going to win. But then also like, wearing your heart on your sleeve enough that it still hurts when they don't, you know what I mean? Like, you're still like hopeful. So it's like you realize that you're going to be heartbroken, but you're still hopeful. And I think that's what makes it hurt the worst, is like you allow yourself that moment of hope when things start to go well, and then it just crushes you.
Yeah, like it's just a bad feeling, right? And
once the game, you're feeling it. Like, you didn't really give a shit about the Dodgers. Let's be honest. But like,
no, I didn't.
But yeah, you didn't. But like the general sense in just San Diego right now, if you're a fan of the Padres, if you're a fan of the Wave, if you're a fan of Loyal, I mean, honestly, I kept telling people somewhere in an alternate universe, there's the San Diego Chargers never left, but for some reason got eliminated from playoffs.
For those of you who can relate, what's a worse feeling? This that you're feeling right now for San Diego, or Mexico in the World Cup in a round of 16 match?
I've cried at a World Cup
Me
in
too.
anger and sadness. So I think that's a special kind of, it's a different sauce. You got different
Every
pastas.
4
You got
years,
pesto.
yeah.
You got Alfredo. But you got. I don't know why I went to pastas, but
Boy's
it's
hungry.
it's comfort food.
But the game didn't start that bad.
It didn't start. Well, we had questions right at the beginning. What's with the lineup? Let me see if I can bring it up
Like,
real
why?
quick.
The biggest question was why wasn't fucking Vassell in the starting lineup?
I heard pretty early on, that Moon was not going to be able to make it and be healthy. So that's kind of something that's like, okay, well, you start just thinking in your head like, well, they have some games under their belt, like they've had some time to build chemistry, training sessions. Koke, obviously good. He's not hurt. Adam Stoneman, Akon, who again has some games under his belt with Sandy Loyal on this back line. Elijah Martin, and then you're just kind of like, like, where's everyone going to be at as far as like back line? Like, where's Elijah going to play? What's the plan here? Like,
Yeah.
you got essentially 3 center backs and 1 left back.
Yeah, no, it's something that they have been playing around with all
Mhm.
season, right? Because again, the consistency hasn't been there. But Elijah Martin was probably one of the best players Loyal had last night.
Yeah, moving forward in a position he hasn't really played that much this season. Kudos to him for a great season too. Like, kudos to everybody for a great season. Kudos to the team. But you can round it out: Charlie, Martin, Guido, Moshabani, Conway, Amang. Your thoughts, Alan? As we look at Thomas Amang, just looks at in this picture like he just saw the lineup and he's like, fuck.
I mean, I don't think it's a bad lineup. I think, it's like it's what they've been kind of rolling with in the past. Like, when you had your best starting 11, like I think the only swap that you might have thought about was dropping Guido into Toomey's spot and then moving Kyle Vassell in where Toomey or Alejandro Guido is quote lined up as playing. But I mean, you made 2 subs all game. Like, it was clear that you were missing 2 key pieces for your offense. Like, Nick Moon and Jack Blake would have started this game if they were healthy. And Nick Moon, I thought, halfway through the game, I was like, man, we're missing Nick Moon, the guy who can kind of beat a guy on the outside and really pull the defense open more. But with who you had, like, this is going to be who you had. Like, maybe Jackson starts in the back line instead. But I thought this was the players that were available. I think this is probably your best starting 11 minus that Vassell. And so it was, all right, was he injured? Is there a health issue?
Yeah.
Is there maybe he couldn't go full, 45 or full 90? But I mean, he looked real hungry at the end of the game. He was one of those guys that did not give up and played, his whole heart out. So that would be the only thing that I might have changed. And again, hindsight's 2020. San Diego kind of pretty much dominated that first half.
Yeah, hindsight. Throw Hader against Bryce Harper. He just struck out the last 8 batters. Come on. There is not just sadness. There is anger. There's just pent up, animosity against certain individuals on that pitch. Obviously 22, 11 on each side, but sometimes it felt like it was 12 against 11. Sometimes a little more.
The ref definitely fucked the game up with those red cards, obviously. But I feel like that kind of gave an excuse also to lose your head. Like, for players, like Amang got the red and then Guido got it right away. And I feel like after that, it's just kind of like we're already losing. Might as well just not care. At least that's what it felt like for me. Don't want to say that it's an excuse. They shouldn't have, but you couldn't score. You couldn't score a goal.
You had the chances. I mean, there was a couple in the first half where Among just wasn't on target with a shot, some shots that went a little bit too high to the side. But they were creating plays. They were creating chances. They were there, and they were making things happen. But it just wasn't going in. And I think this is exactly like every single game against Oakland that San Diego Loyals ever had. Like, they have the possession, they have the flair, they have the players, they have the chances, but the ball just doesn't seem to want to go in. And then obviously a play here where, you just kind of are playing hacky sack with the opponents. The good play. If you have three players kind of closing in on one, leaving one unmarked, great shot. Not to take anything away from that. But a great shot goes into the net for behind Coque Vegas, and that's just the 1-0. And there's points in this match, and I'll ask you, Alan, because for me this was it. The moment I felt like, okay, yeah, it's done. I don't know what it was, and the crowd right after was waving the rally towels and getting it, cheering on their team, which was beautiful to see. It was great. But something just did not sit well with me, especially with the minutes that followed. But when was your first we might not win this?
I think it was the turnover in the second half, the bad back pass. It's really hard to. I mean, Oakland. To be fair, Oakland hasn't given up a goal in the playoffs, like last season or this season.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, they got eliminated because they also didn't score goals, and lost in PKs. But I think that mistake was you're going to have to score 2 against a team that you're really struggling to put a goal on. You were getting close, but it didn't feel like you were necessarily feeling comfortable that they were going to be able to score, more than one, even if they got one. And so that 51st minute, that was a huge gut punch because it also is a mistake. It's a bad back pass. And, when that happens, I think that's when you start to kind of wonder if there's anything that you can do, right? You're battling mental issues as well now. You're probably getting down on yourself. You're in your head. And you're just not playing really well. So, just to get back into the game is going to take a lot of effort mentally. And then when I think that was pretty much it, right? You got to believe that team can score a goal. But now it's now we got to score 2. And so I think that, the closest moment I think that you might have thought you might have gotten back in the game was that Kyle Vassell.
Yeah,
bicycle kick because I think if that would have gone in, I think things might have changed. But
it would have been way different after that.
I think looking back on it, I think it was that second goal with just a sloppy back pass and them just running the ball into the net. I think they had just a massive amounts of confidence, and they just. I mean, they have a belief when they come into Torero that they're going to win. And I mean, that's what we've seen time and time again until something changes. They're going to come in here and believe that they can beat us. And they did.
And it's something about this team. You have, go for it.
I think for me, it was done when there was no substitutions at half. I told you guys, Vassell needs to start the second half. And you wait till they score a second one to put him in. That's not okay. You're down 1-0 in playoffs at half. You need to make a change. You're not producing anything on top. You have Kyle Vassell who came in with that hunger to score, and nothing changed. So for me, that was it.
There was a lot of those moments, and then it just kept getting worse. That's what's upsetting about this match is that it just kept getting worse. And you're like, oh, this is... There's a hope. There's a chance, 2-0, right? 2-0. And then, obviously, what we're going to see right now happen. But, you're even oh, man, nine against 11. You know, it's still 20 minutes. You know, momentum wise, you know, you could still, but it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And so different things, very similar times. Thomas Among is pretty much, and you said it and you alluded to it, and you have this season that you don't like a certain, I don't know, aggression, certain tone, certain type of way that Among handles himself with referees, with players, just like, what is it about Among and that just rustles your jimmies, Alan?
I necessarily rustles my jimmies. It's more of like he plays on such a razor's edge of aggression and like over the top, and I think that he hasn't quite figured out where that line is yet. And sometimes he pushes himself over that line and puts him in a position where referees are going to have to make decisions, like a second yellow card on, you know, something that was, you know, questionable, I guess. I mean, you don't put your hand near someone's face to put yourself in that position, right? You know, I think that there's sometimes where I think he just lets things get to him when they shouldn't. Like, do I think that's yellow card worthy? Absolutely not. But you don't put yourself in that position to put your hands in someone's face.
The goalkeeper just coming in to just first aid, CPR certified. Yeah. Like, I got
that
these guys.
Got a broken eye socket.
Look, I mean, as much as it pains me to say this, like the shithousery of this goalkeeper and his tactics are hilarious. He's a goddamn clown. But you know what? I dig it. As a goalkeeper, game recognizes game, and fuck him. But
that shit he did towards the end. It was post and got tangled. Oh my god!
I mean, whatever. Like, that's just beside the point. It was just a part of it. But like, again, here's that red card, right? It turns red, and then just in that instant, I don't even know if they kind of they skipped over it here, but Guido gets himself another yellow card because he was booked in the first half too, very, very early. And I think we were talking about it too down at field level. Like, somebody's gonna get a red card. Like, somebody's gonna get a red card. We felt it. Didn't expect 3 fucking red cards. But do you know what the official on the book referee, you know, the little like official tally at the end of the games, la cédula? I don't know what they call that in English.
Not sure.
You don't even know what I mean in Spanish.
No.
Pretty much the form at the end that the referees fill out with all the names, the number of fouls, the number of yellow cards, and all that stuff. So they have to give a reason for the red card. Essentially, he was already on the yellow second half. Guido commits a foul, but he gave advantage, and this is what I was told from somebody who saw the actual booklet. He was given advantage. Referee thought, oh, okay, I got to get back to that later. A bunch of stuff happens, and then Among happens. So then he gets yellow card, red card. I still need to give Guido a yellow card from earlier. Obviously, probably not thinking that I already gave him a yellow card. So, you know, weigh that into the decision. Goes back, books Guido, and that's why it came out of nowhere, because it's like, well, what did he do? Was it dissent? Did he say something? No, it was the yellow card from the advantage he had given before.
That's fucking wild, because don't you stop the advantage if it results in a red card? That's normally what happens, right? If it's a second yellow
rules,
card.
USL, like, that does not compute.
There's clearly no rules in the USL.
I mean, so that's from a official source. I can say that. So,
well, it is on the USL website as Alejandro Guido, a second yellow card for a bad foul.
Yes. So, I mean, and I really, honestly, you'd have to go back and look for it. I haven't been able to have the time. Thanks, Locals and O'Brien's, for keeping me at fucking 2 a.m. Thank you guys. You guys are great. But yeah, so that means bad foul. So that's why it was a double tap of red cards. So there was a lot of confusion around that. So that's essentially what happened. 2 red cards, bow, changes the game entirely.
Stoneman
What's
just
wild
lost his
is
head, too.
the whole Thomas Amon thing happens when Loyal has possession.
Yes.
So did he just forget
Yes.
that he was
That's what I'm
supposed to
saying. Where like,
like how do you go back? How do you go back then? Like, oh, I forgot I was supposed to give a yellow card when, like, that just seems wild to me. That when a team doesn't have possession or a team has possession, like you've played advantage or whatever, like because it's wild.
Yeah.
So you essentially let Guido play on a red card for
essentially
minutes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say Among doesn't happen, right? And that play just kind of develops and ends up being a score by Guido. Do you then just say, okay, just kind of forget about it?
But you got a red still.
Yeah, I mean, and those are just like little details that are incredibly important. And I think even Landon was a little confused now thinking about it in the press conference. Like he didn't know the details of some of the things that happened. I was waiting for him to get a red card. I really, it's one of those things where it got so heated, it got so twisted, it got so nasty that
he seemed very calm in the press conference. I thought he'd be more upset. I thought he'd be like pissed. He was. I don't know what vibe you guys got from him, but he looked kind of calm about it. Maybe like in shock.
Right,
like,
Coach
I don't know what to believe.
Coach, just take us through this match. Disappointing loss, but good run this season. Talk to us what's going through your mind through all this.
It's a cruel game sometimes. First of all, Oakland are a really good team, very good team, and they've been hard for us to beat over 2 years. So congrats to them. They deserved it, and credit to them. We didn't play poorly. I think they had one shot in the first half, and they scored, and soccer can be that way. I disappointed in the red cards. I haven't seen exactly what happened, but you can't put yourself in a position to get sent off. I think we still had a chance to get back into the game. So that's disappointing, but mostly I just want to say thank you to all the fans all year. This has been it's hard to look at it right now, but this has been a really special season. I think we've brought a lot of joy to people, and they've brought us a lot of joy. So I'm really proud of what we're building in this city, and I think the future is really bright for soccer in this city and for our team in particular.
What do you think of that, Alan? You were there. We'll have the rest of the questions that you had, but
I don't disagree with like the course of the season, right? Like I think if you don't have playoffs, you still feel really good about this team, right? Like this was the Premier League. San Diego qualified for Europe, right? Like fifth best team in the USL. And they didn't even have half of the gimmies that a lot of the Eastern Conference teams have. So he's not wrong, right? I think people will look back on this Padres season too as being the same kind of thing, the same thing with Wave, like a really good regular season that had a lot of really, really special moments and memorable moments that I think fans will like remember for a while. Like there are historical moments, and I don't mean like historical as in like record breaking or record book things for Loyal. I think there are like moments that people who are going to be fans of this franchise for a while are going to be like, yeah, I was there when this, I was there when that. I think Landon out hashtag is a joke. Like, come on. San Diego was second in the West in their third year. Like, they played really good football. There are really good coaches who aren't in the playoffs right now either. So I think this is a step forward. I think you build on the success. I think last year you get a playoff match. This year you get a home playoff match against probably the worst opponent that you want to get. I think if this is against any other team, we feel much better after this.
Yeah.
We can be sad, we can be disappointed, we can be embarrassed about how some of the players behaved, some of the fans behaved, because some of the supporters were not
don't show
innocent
feelings.
in poor behavior either.
Yeah.
I don't buy into that either, that the commentating thing becoming a problem. Like,
Yeah,
at this
I don't
point,
think so
like
either.
if it's Saturday night, like, your coach isn't doing anything to make you better. Like, he's done all he can, and it's up to the players. And I think that there's some things that maybe are going to be tweaked for next year. I know there's going to be some players who aren't coming back. But we need to focus on the back line. We need to focus on the back line. How do we make, that back unit more solid? Because if San Diego made the finals and won, it would have been the worst defensive record to ever win the USL.
Bring Yarrow back.
You would love to, but he's probably playing in MLS next year for St. Louis, right?
For sure.
And so you thought you had some guys to fill in, and they didn't quite work out.
Yeah,
and
Nico
maybe
Boxall, that's who got launched, like, done.
But you mean, like, and some of it is just, it's over the course of the season, it's easier to be like, well, here are the issues. It wasn't like the midfield was pretty decent. It was really some really good signings on the front end, but maybe not as good at the back end. And so you just kind of retool it and hopefully come back stronger. You're going to lose some mainstays of the team, but I mean, I think Landon Donovan also mentioned, like, how much better Tumi Moshobani is now than he was when he first signed. Grant Stoneman's improved, right? You look at some of the guys like Charlie Adams and Colin Martin, like, they were good when they got here, but they're still better than they were when they arrived. So it's hard for me to say, like, the coaching staff is to blame when, like, your coaching staff didn't soft back pass a pass to lead to that second goal, right? They're getting into scoring opportunities. So, like, the design of the tactics are solid. It's just that, we didn't have the guys to pull it off to 100% 2 years ago. And they found some guys for last year, and it seemed to work. And some of those guys that were really solid moved on, and we couldn't find the right replacements on the back end. And so, you go again and you learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, no. Going back to the whole Landon doing commentary for that Galaxy LAFC game, for me, that doesn't matter. It's like, he's off the clock there. You guys, when you guys are off the clock, you guys are thinking about work. I get it. It's different. It's not the same, but that's how I see it. He's a human being. It's a big game for him as well.
Bad optics, sure.
Yeah, for
Sure.
sure. But
does it really matter in the long run? Probably
is
not.
3 hours on a Saturday really going to impact anything? No.
Yeah, no, I know it was confirmed that he went after training, he went to the office, and then he drove up. Like, his day was done. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. But this does remind me a lot of last season, where you had this team that was pretty solid. You move into the playoffs.
Picked at the wrong time.
You peak at the wrong time. You lose some players, this time not so mysteriously. Jack Blake, being injured, having something on his foot. It was something in his foot that was just,
sure.
he was in a walking boot. And then Moon, right? Incredibly important. But this team that just kind of ran out of steam. Like, they just kind of ran out of steam. And, I don't know which team would have beat the other. I mean, this team would have beat last year's team if, head to head. But it just doesn't feel like it. Like, it feels like a half step up. I get it. Home field advantage. You got this home field advantage. You got second place. You fought for it so hard. But for what? For nothing. And that's the part that upsets me. And yeah, it's a marginal step up. Like, it's just
so had they lost in the next round, it would have been the same feeling, right? Upset.
Upset, yeah, upset, 100%. But they took that extra step. It's not last year. They didn't get booted out in the same exact place. There's no
Same shit though. If you
I
don't,
don't think
if
there's
you don't win the
growth in that.
championship,
There's
you don't
no
win
growth
it, then
in
there's
having-
no point.
in having a loss in the first round, home or away. It's a loss, and you're booted out of
So
the
you
first
don't think
round.
there's any growth from last season? Second place, most goals in the league.
What do you have to show for it?
It's.
I'm proud of them.
it's
I like what
it's
they like.
going like this.
Yeah,
It's on the graph. It's going.
yeah,
up.
but the graph ends at the same place as it did last year. The exact same place. The exact same place.
the third season.
Better players. Third season. No. Okay. Like I get that, but
season.
like comparison, like where we're at, what we could have had. Wrong opponent. Some people I
Like,
heard were saying, "Oh, I want Oakland." No, you don't
think
want
of it like
Oakland.
this though. You Alan, what's a well-established USL team that's been in the league for years, that has won the league as well already?
Tampa Bay.
Blue City.
Louis City. You're someone from
Tampa
Louis
Bay
City.
has never. Tampa Bay, I don't think has ever won any USL.
Louis City, perfect example. You see Loyal from Louis City's eye, and you're like, this is a fresh, this is still a new team. And they already got second place. Holy shit, that's impressive. You saw Sacramento. I think we compare ourselves to Sacramento so much because they won it in their second year, I believe, right? That we wanted to be that so bad. We wanted to do that in our first year. Second year, maybe. Third year. This is a year. No. It takes time. It's fucking insane that Sacramento got in the second year. That never happens anywhere. Like, it's kind of like a Leicester City moment in the Premier League.
It's also a much different USL back then than it is now. It is way more competitive now than it was then. Like the level of play is much better and more competitive now, up and down. And I mean, yeah, they ended it the same week, but I would say you have to say that the overall season was a better season.
Yeah.
It's I think it hurts more this year when you're the second place team. You would think that you would get, hey, we're going to win the first round. But, in the second round, it's going to be really difficult. I think that's a rational kind of approach to it. And so I think that's I think that you have to think about this season as a success and a failure in the postseason. I think is kind of how I would approach it. Is this team was in a much better place, won more games, way more competitive, more entertaining to watch, just as complex as it's ever been. Even I would argue even more complex than it's ever been, especially with Nick Moon on the pitch. Like, remember those days? And so I think
Nick Moon?
What's that?
Remember Nick Moon?
Remember Nick Moon? I think you have to think about separating the playoffs a little bit, and say, yeah, they failed in the playoffs, and so maybe that's the next progression that this team needs to make is, how do we handle the playoffs when we've figured out the regular season compared to last year? Again, yeah.
It's definitely tough. It's hard to. I think it was a cherry on the top for San Diego fans, obviously, especially after Padres and then Wave, and it's
Shit,
like, wow,
cherry.
is Loyal really going? Maybe fix everything? No, and I think that's why they're getting a bunch of shit. You knew it, Tony. You knew it.
I knew it was coming. I
Yeah.
knew it was coming. Like, I really thought that, and I think it's going to be the last game at Torero. But post-match, we got to talk and see a couple players, and we know some players that definitely for sure are not coming back. Jack Metcalf came up at the end, shared a big old hug with Alan and I. That was nice. You say anything to him?
I told him I was going to miss him, and he said he would see us around.
And I think that's a San Diego staple. I think he's one of those people that he likes it here, so he'll stick around. Alan, I don't know, just led this conversation with Coque Vegas. And just couldn't stop, talking to him.
Oh, yeah,
And, Coque, I think, was the last player to leave the pitch, right?
What a guy.
Yeah.
So we were just yapping it up and, just going back and forth, like, hey, like, what's up? What's up for next year? Like,
You
honestly, like,
coming
what's up for
back,
next year?
Coke?
Like, you want to come back? You this? He did share in perfect Castellano that, obviously he doesn't have anything on the table right now with San Diego Loyal. He would like to stay here. If there was another offer in the USL for more money, he would not take it.
Yeah.
The only place he would play in the USL would be San Diego.
I think the only way he leaves is if it's an option for like growth. If it's a different country and it's a good pay and it's a chance to better his career. He's still young for a goalkeeper. So obviously you gotta think of it like the goal is to eventually maybe go back to La Liga for him. That's the goal. I mean, a lot of these players in the USL, they want to go to MLS. They want to make it, right?
And I mean, he's been there, right? And so like, it almost seems like because of a logistical error that we got Koke Vegas in the team. So he said he misses his family. He has a kid over there. Like, go work for a whole soccer season halfway across the world and not see your family. Like, it's tough.
That's tough, man.
It's tough. So, will he return? What do you guys think?
I think he might. I really would like for that to happen, just to really get to see more of him, especially if you give him a better backline or a more consistent backline. I think he could be probably one of the best goalkeepers in the USL if he stays. And again, you make some changes in that backline. But I would like to see him back. I really like them. I think he's the second best goalkeeper the team has had, right behind Kempen.
You still rate Kempen higher than
I do.
I
think Kempen was
interesting.
special.
Interesting. Alan?
I mean, I'd like to see him back, but I would not be heartbroken if he found someplace closer to home to play. You can only imagine coming to a place where, some people speak your native tongue, but still it's different, right? There's cultural differences, and leaving your family for as long as he has to play a full season is something that's got to be tough. And so, I think maybe he gets some looks other places. I think he has a lot to give and a lot of growth for himself as a keeper. We saw flashes of some amazing, brilliant saves. And we saw some moments where his backline really let him down. And so it was sad to see kind of how many goals were given up and kind of what that does to a goalkeeper stats. But hopefully people take a look at, what he was able to do on the pitch. And I would, again, I think people get connected to people and not players. And so I would like to see him back because I thought he was a really nice guy. And also, he always took the time to engage with the fans, even with his quasi-limited English, although it was probably better than he would admit it would be. But obviously, these players have to make the best decisions for themselves and their families. And so if he finds his way back to a Spanish league, I wouldn't be surprised. And I would wish him well and probably, peek in on some of the games like I do for a John Kempen or a Miguel Berry or a Ricky Rubio. You watch these guys later and root for them to be successful. And so, guys like Koke are guys that you're probably going to keep an eye on for a while.
Yeah, so, I mean, I hope he stays, like I said, but if he leaves, I think you can find a quality goalkeeper in a lot of places.
Yeah, I mean, you have, teams with, not anymore, but like Los Dos and second tier teams in some cases that have academy players, right? Like, throw Durant out there. Like, if he's ready, he's ready. If he's ready, he's ready. If he's not ready, he's not ready.
He's
like,
not ready yet.
Bring back Anthony Siaha. He was in the stadium yesterday. I don't think that's gonna happen. All right, really quick. A yes or no? Like, will this player be in San Diego Loyal version 2023? You can take this as you will. You're either thinking of, do I want this player here? If that's what your answer is going to be. Or you can just be like, tactically, I just don't think this player is going to be here next year. However you want to interpret that. You guys ready to start? Elijah Martin.
Yes.
Yes.
He's okay. Cool. Metcalf, obviously not. Grant Stoneman.
I think he still returns. Yes.
I would say yes.
Camden Riley.
No.
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think he returns.
Jackson Kazansu.
I really hope he does. I think it would be cool to see what he has to offer. He's a
Yes.
very young player, so yes.
Ebenezer. Akon.
No.
I would like to see him back.
Kyle Adams.
Yes.
I probably.
But you have to add another center back, and either Stoneman or Kyle Adams will be a sub behind them.
There was a source because again I hung out at that stadium. Like I didn't get home until 3 a.m. yesterday.
Wow.
Didn't hang out at Terrell
Wow.
till 3 a.m. But what am I doing at Terrell at 3 a.m.? But I heard sources say that Kyle Adams was talking a lot of like it along with another player. I'll talk about in a bit. As far as man, San Diego was a cool place to live.
Oh.
Like past tense type of like, man, like San Diego was a really cool place to live. It's really cool.
Yikes. No
take
se
that.
queda.
Take that as you will. Honestly, I don't want to start any try to transfer rumors, but I mean, for whatever the fuck we get, and we have gotten from the club, which is very little, as far as transfers, injuries, like all that stuff. Like I'm gonna take. That's my goal next year, Alan. I'm just gonna take what I get and just run with it. All right, unapologetic, not officially with the club. So thank you, thank you, club, for letting us be there. But yeah, so that's Kyle
Won't
Adams.
stay
That
there.
is Kyle Adams. So I hate the way this is formatted on the website because it goes from defenders to forwards to goalkeepers to midfielders. Kyle Vassell.
You have to try to keep him. Yes.
I would like to see him back. I'm not sure he stays.
The other player that was talking about San Diego being a very lovely place to live in.
Oh.
So again, take that as you will. I agree. Kyle Vassell is one of those players that just added something to this team, just that extra bite that Loyal really hadn't seen. And that's the thing. Like Thomas Among is a player that I see trying to do that too, but his bite is a little bit different and it's more annoying and it gets you red cards. Like
Got him.
there's a quality about Vass where you're like, okay, like this dude is all tatted up. Like of course he's gonna have an attitude. Like of course he's gonna come out. That's just what it is. But yeah, so that's Kyle Vassell. Toomey, who, fun fact, didn't know about the Toomey hats until the day of, and they never cleared it with them. They were like, I guess we'll clear it, but Toomey Moshibane.
I would like to see him back. I think he's still got some room to grow.
I think he stays. I think they're gonna make it a priority to keep him.
It'd be the smart thing to do. Evan Conway, number 14.
I really hope he stays. Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if he signed like a 1-and-1, and so maybe the club's gonna keep him.
Very young, and he just came up from USL.
So I think he has another season
yeah.
with Loyal.
So I think so too. With that, there is a little exchange that we had with Evan Conway in the DMs. So obviously, just kind of reaching out to some of the players, like just kind of praising them for their hard work and get some rest over the offseason. He's like, yeah, I would love to join you guys on a podcast. And I appreciate the recognition. This team means a lot to me. Just want us to succeed in the big games. So, quote from Evan Conway, I think he's staying. Se queda. I really think he'll be back and he'll want to stay here and do whatever he has to stay here. Nick Moon.
I think he should be one of your main targets to keep. I don't know if they managed to do that though.
Yeah, I agree. I think you went after him because he was kind of like one of the top free agents last offseason. So I think you do what you can to keep him.
Yeah.
The transfer of the season still?
I
Yeah?
think so.
Okay.
I think the impact he made on this team was good, but I don't think he comes back for another season.
Ooh. Thomas Among.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think it's like 50-50.
I hope he does. I think he's really good. I think he's talented.
Mm.
It's that attitude that if somehow maybe he can work on it.
Yeah, I just think it's like finding out how to play on the edge without going over,
Yeah.
and
It's
then
hard.
being able to kind of give up on things when they don't go the way you want them to go.
Exactly. We already talked about Koke. Durant staying here for a while. Midfield. Morgan Hackworth.
There's something about him that Landon really likes to have. You have to have some players on the bench, I guess, but I wouldn't be mad if he's out of there already.
You need to fill the bench spot somehow.
Yeah,
Jesus
you do.
Christ.
No, you 100%
shit.
do.
I don't. I have no read on Hackworth. Probably not, but
Capitan Charlie Adams.
Has to stay 100%.
I think if he's playing next year, he's got to stay here.
Jack Blake.
Is still under contract, right? It was a 2-year contract, I
Yeah.
think.
He's
So
still se queda. Hopefully comes back healthy. Alejandro Guido.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. I'd say 50-50.
Would you want him to stay?
I mean, yeah, I think the way he played this year, yeah. I think
Yeah.
the way he played last year, probably not. I think we saw a little bit of that in this game too, like the try to do everything, go a little bit too much as opposed to be the facilitator. But like Guido for this year was in the probably MVP conversation. If not for the team, then he was being looked at by a lot of people in the league. So like if he plays next year, I think you want to keep him.
Yeah, I agree.
I also wouldn't be surprised if his exit was his exit.
Yeah, I do think you have to try to keep him though.
Yeah, I think you try to keep him as well. But for those of you that follow him and are connected on LinkedIn with Alejandro Guido, he recently accepted a position as a scout for the U.S. men's national team.
Really?
Like within the last week and a half or two.
Oh shit.
Is
Yeah.
that a
Yeah.
Is
Could
that,
be an off-season thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Could be an off-season thing, but I know he's kind of wanted to get into that. He has his licenses for managing and all that stuff, so I know that's kind of down his path a little further, but I don't think he comes back. I don't think he comes back. Hopefully he does. I'd like him back. Cool dude. Good player. Colin Martin.
Has to be one of your priorities to keep. Has to stay.
Yeah, with Jack Metcalf retiring, like Colin Martin is probably one of my favorite. He would be fighting for the top spot of favorite player on the team. So I really hope he comes back.
Yeah, I really hope so too. He has to stay. He's so good in the center midfield position.
All right. Great job, guys.
Oh, you got one more player.
Number 30, Andrew Carlton.
Fuck no. He's out of there. He's out. He didn't do shit. He scored one penalty.
He sat in your chair.
Yeah. Fuck this chair.
You drank from water here.
Ugh.
I threw it away.
Ugh.
Andrew Carlton as a player didn't pan out as I think the club thought he would have. I'm just choosing my words wisely here. He was a project, is a project for Landon.
I wouldn't be surprised if he stays.
I also would not be surprised if he stays. But how do you announce that he re-signed? Like, that's I mean,
Fuck.
How
They're
do
going to
you-
make a video for him.
how do you in Chicano
for,
Park?
for the July video.
In
like-
Chicano Park.
God damn it.
We don't have enough Chicano Park. But I mean, I know what your response is, Alan, but like just objectively player wise, like take out everything, which is impossible, but take it out for a bit. Soccer. Do you bring this guy back?
So Have you Googled Andrew Carlton recently? Like the way that Google is set up, it has this like overview on him, and there's like a couple pictures. There's his stats from this year: 27 matches, 1 goal, 1 assist, 4 yellow cards. There's his Instagram link, and then there's a video on the Google landing page of the interview with Two Balls and a Mic.
Really?
What's that?
Where is it? Where is it? I can't see it.
Oh, it was not. It's the way my Google is set up on.
Oh,
So my overview looks different than your overview
There it
does.
is.
But yeah, the Andrew Carlton interview, and that's my comment on whether or not he should come back. Is
that interview.
Isn't it wild that the only loyal player on an in-person interview was him?
He was actually one of the only guests other than Alan to sit there. So it's been purified by
Your
Alan.
bestie, dude.
I mean, look, I think like that had to happen for many reasons, and I think that ultimately, I don't know if the club really understood why it had to happen, or like really cared at some point. But then they were forced to care. If they bring back AC, if they bring him back, there's some conversations that are going to need to be had. There is donation. I don't know. Like, that's not going to make people happy. And then, yeah, I think with the projected news that Snapdragon might be a destination, you need to have people. You have decide. Like Batman smoke bombs to go off, and then like, oh, Andrew Carlton resigned. Snapdragon, we're at Snapdragon Stadium this year. Blah 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 blah. Come on down for the free event.
And you need players in the bench.
You need players in the bench. There are other benches. There are other benches
in other teams that he can,
there are other benches.
Can sit at. Yeah. I had we've seen on the field what we've seen at training. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
AC at training, it's impressive. But if we were able to see that on the field when he comes on and he makes an impact, then maybe you can say, wow, this guy's really good at soccer, but he hasn't shown that. He hasn't shown that at all.
He hasn't. He really hasn't. One penalty, a gimme penalty. It's just, it is what it is, but just be forewarned that if that's a path worth exploring for the club, just know that people are going to explore options of actions.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, especially if you're moving to Snapdragon, you want people to go to those games, and if people start to keep boycotting because of him, you're not going to get many people out there.
Alan, do you know what will happen with two teams moving to Next Pro? Will all these players stay with their Next Pro teams, or their age limits? Do you think a bunch of those guys will be available?
There are age limits. I think you can have 3 players above 23. I think. Don't quote me on it. I'm not a huge MLS Next Pro 2 and then some, whatever that league's called. But I think there are some age limits. But I think a lot of those Los Dos players, for example, are under that age, right? Like 23 is still it's young, but it's not that young, right? Guido's 28, I think. So they're gonna take some of the player pool from the younger side. But I think the way that Loyal is built, it is building, they're not going to go super young. They might pick a couple pieces that are that old or that young that can play in MLS Next Pro also too, whatever. So I'm not sure what effect that has with those teams moving and what their roster rules look like, and what they're able to loan down. Like I said, I haven't done a lot of digging and reading on the MLS programs, so I would be the wrong person to ask. But I do know that there'll be there'll probably be some impact. But we saw with Vegas, Danny Trejo is getting looks, Danny Crisostomo is getting looks. So I think that you'll see some shuffling around, and you might see some older players popping into USL.
And I mean, there's a lot of talent that's still like incoming, and I think that's the value of having a good regular season where people know that San Diego is a team.
It's a good team.
It's a good team to land, to go, and it's a destination.
Especially with the city. Like, whether that plays a big factor to players, and to know that you could come to a competitive team and maybe be a part of history and llegar a ese quinto partido. That would be great. Like, so I do think it's an appealing place to come play for. So, especially, I mean, Landon is always a factor, right? He influences players to come in. So
this is a cursed comment. Imagine if Guido Coque Vassell, of course, at the end of the season, Kyle Adams Conway leave and AC stays.
I also don't think you should underestimate like Nate Miller's system, and it is complex, but it does seem like a pretty fun way to play.
That was a good transition.
Yeah, a pretty fun system to play that is fun and attacking, and so don't discount like the style of soccer that San Diego plays as another reason why people want to come here, right? Like LD's the name, and you might have some connections to be able to move on, but like what Nate Miller has built tactically and kind of how he thinks about the game and creating a fun and attacking style of soccer that brings people to the stadium. I think there's a lot to be said about that too, right? You're going to attract guys who want to play that style of soccer. I would be safe to assume that a lot of people like playing that style of soccer, even defenders, right? There's times where Stoneman's like at the edge of the 18. And so I think it's a good combination of those three things, right? Or four things. You have good weather, you have a good head coach who is a good man manager, you have a tactical guy who is bringing a very entertaining brand of soccer, and then you have the fans that show up and do what they did on Sunday in the face of the team not playing well. It took a long time for that the fans to turn, and it wasn't to turn on the players, right? They turned on the ref, and there was still applause and love for the players and the coaching staff, which, you know, without as much disappointment as there was, you would just as easily turn on those people. But I think that the fans were still very much behind the team in the face of what they faced. And so that's attractive as well, right? You want to play a place where you feel like you give it all, the fans are going to give it back. Even if you have a bad night, the fans are going to have your back. They're not going to boo you and you know, they might call it as they see it, but ultimately they're still going to support the team and root for the team for the full 90. And so you want to play in those places.
I need to see more. Like I like Nate. I like his style. Sometimes it can be a little rigid, just with the way that it just doesn't change and doesn't adapt in game sometimes.
I agree with that, yeah.
And I think that while, yes, it's a fun way to play the game, you had the pieces. Yes, you got some injuries, but again, I don't want to come off as, I just want to see more. I want to see a championship or bust. Like, no, like, I would have liked to have won this game, as I think a lot of people at Torero would have wanted that to happen. But I think that you got figured out by a team, and there's just something that this team in particular has figured out about you, and you need to figure out what the fuck that is.
And that's the thing. We've talked to him before, right? And we've asked him, "Oh, did you guys figure out what went wrong, and did you guys fix it?" And he said, "Yeah, we absolutely did." No, clearly the fuck you didn't. But what you're saying about not adapting, if you know this team knows you like the back of their hand, you need to adapt and do something and come at it differently. You can't go with the same game style. Yeah. That's not the way soccer works. Yeah. You have to change shit.
But guys, they gave up one shot on goal in the first half. Like, you can't be like they didn't adapt. They play like one shot on goal in a playoff game in the first half. Like, that's better than we've seen from Loyal against Oakland. It took a bouncing ball and a great strike and then a terrible back pass. Like,
Yeah.
how do you adapt against a terrible back pass? Like,
Yeah.
that's not coaching. That's not tactics. Like, I just don't agree that things didn't change and things didn't adapt for this game. Like, Oakland had taken advantage of space, and they weren't doing that against Loyal until they went down to 8 guys, right? Like, I
Yeah.
think it's a little bit unfair to say that coaching staff didn't make adjustments for this game. Like, San Diego did what they needed to do against Oakland for 50 minutes of that game.
Yeah, and
And-
agreed that it all went to shit at some particular point. Like, there's only some you can control,
The result was still the same though, and that's what's frustrating.
and
But
that's
the cause
true.
isn't the same.
The cause, I will agree with that. But then it does also then fall on the shoulders of the players to go ahead and make those chances, make those goals, because you can create all the chances you want, but you got to score them. And if you hold the other team to one shot and the shot just happens to go in, that is soccer, and I'll agree with Landon on that one. It's cruel.
Brutal.
It is cruel, but I
Yeah,
think
you have to score, man.
stepping back, taking that step back, I think there's a lot of still emotions as far as like what happened, how it happened, the way it happened. Referee just literally handing out yellow cards to everybody, anybody. Like, that's a
He thought it was-
change.
He thought it was trick or treat.
Yeah, I mean,
No, he thought he was Oprah. You get a card. You get a card. You get a card.
literally handing yellow cards to the children of
So-
San Diego.
So for those of you, we never say shit to the refs because
We can't.
We
We
can't. We're
can't.
not allowed to. I think we got the emotions.
We
got the emotions.
recorded a portion for context for Two Balls y Leal in Spanish, where we were talking about the
Hasta los
protagonists
niños.
of and we were like, wow, even the children are getting yellow cards. Like, this man is in a really giving mood. Also gave the red card away. Just might want to add that.
He
but
did during the game too. So
yeah, it was just unfortunate top to bottom. It's not a good feeling for this game. Looking back, stepping back, successful season, successful regular season. I think you separated that way. Yeah, great, good, successful regular season.
better than last year.
Better than last year, absolutely. Overall, with the way it just kind of crashed and burned, just leave that bad taste in your mouth
Yeah.
that you can only rectify in about 365 days. And that's it. Like, you just keep building up from here. And I don't know if Phoenix is going to be as bad as it was this year. I don't know if Orange County is going to bounce back. I don't know if Roots is just going to be that same team again. But the West is tough. It's a tough place to play in. And, this organization seems to want to move forward with, being bigger, they're expanding and growing. Sure, I'm down. Like, again, I'm not opposed to it. How they get there, what they do is going to be up to a lot of people, a lot of moving parts in the organization. So it was nice seeing everybody at the end come together, all the ambassadors, everybody, sales reps come together. They all had a nice little toast at the fountain. But an end of a season, Alan, do you have anything left, man? Like, I'm exhausted with what happened last night.
I would just say, like, take some time and then, like, go back and watch some of the highlights from the games that they played really well in, and just remember, like, how much fun this season was up to kind of the way it ended. So I think looking back on the season, like, take some moments and relive the good times, because if we just get stuck in the things that were bad, or the things that make us feel bad, I think we run the danger of forgetting all of the happiness that we experienced over the course of the season with this team. And so I would just urge folks to kind of take a moment and relive those sometime later. Obviously, like, be sad, be angry. I'm not going to tell you how to fan right now. Like
Mhm.
your feelings are all valid, right? If you're pissed, be pissed. If you're sad, be sad. But
I'm sad.
take a couple moments at some point in the off season and just kind of watch some highlights, watch a full game back if they're still on YouTube. Like find some of those games that were really, really magical. The Tampa Bay game, the Orange County game with Conway coming back. There's just some really cool moments from this game that I just don't want us to forget because we're sad or mad or angry right now. So that would be the only thing I would say is just there's a lot to be happy with here. So go back and kind of check those out when you get a chance.
It was a fun season. I'm not gonna lie. The players that were on the roster that we got to know and love and just feel like they're one of our own. It was a really fun season. It differentiated itself from the first two. First one obviously is just wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean some really really good soccer was played here. This team had some highlights. They had it all. This season had it all. I could say really impressive losses, really impressive wins, comebacks, and that's why you play the game. That's why you play the
Same
sport.
shitty refereeing.
That's the constant. If there's a constant throughout, like
That's the consistency here in the
That's
USL.
the thing. Like that's
The
we will
referee being
have
shitty.
shitty refereeing here and there, and sometimes like literally, I've never seen a game like that. I've never, and I keep saying that like in USL games, like I've never seen that in soccer, and yet it's just as impressive. Like wow,
It's fun.
wow,
It's very fun.
it is. Fuck. It's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while. Hopefully, we can start with this preseason.
Someone said we need VAR in USL. Oh shit, man! With
They
this,
can't afford it.
With how dumb
They
these
can't afford
referees
it.
are, they are not gonna make the right calls.
What is a
either way.
robot umpire or referee gonna fix when they don't know how to work their own technology? The referees forgot their headpieces for a game at USL. Like, let's not forget that. Like, they forgot their headpieces.
Fun season, guys. Fun season.
Yep.
Alan, I've
You
genuinely loved having you on. The insight, the mind, the brilliance of that mind, gracing the two balls at a mic stage has been phenomenal, and we have appreciated
He
you. We
will be
appreciate you.
back. Alan Underwood se queda.
I mean, I don't know. Do we have to do the transfer thing? Like,
Ooh.
what's going on?
Alan
What's
Underwood
in
signing for another season?
What is your plans, Alan?
I'm really gonna take this off season to talk with my family and think about what options might be out there, and so I'm just gonna take it one day at a time for now. It's a long off season, and actually it's a really short off season.
It's really short.
Yeah.
No, it's been really fun getting to work with you guys and vlogging and engaging with the soccer community still, and so it just makes it that much more enjoyable even on the bad days. It makes it enjoyable to have some good company. So I appreciate you guys having me on and being a constant guest-ish person. And I just want to thank everyone who's engaged with the Two Balls Underwood segment, the Miller Time stuff. It's just been super fun to watch this
Hell yeah.
community continue to build and be vocal and disagree in ways that are healthy. And hopefully people have found that their point of view is represented in some way on the show. And that's all we can hope for.
Hell yeah. Fishing in the horizon, just a lot of vacation. Get some tans. Get tanned, Alan. Like, let's add some color there. Get some vitamin. What vitamin is it? D? E? The sun?
D.
Sure. Sunny D. Ah. Is that why?
Yes, that's
Oh,
why.
shit, that's
you
why. Oh,
dipshit.
my God. I never.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
my God.
This man is tired.
Oh, wow. I was
Wow.
always part of the kid in the back. I want that purple stuff. They had grape drink in the back.
Yeah,
Um,
great.
Grape drink. Sugar, water, purple. It's been great, Alan. I mean, I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do. There's no soccer in San Diego.
World Cup.
Guess what? World Cup San Diego Sockers are coming back
Yep.
up. So
Soccer.
we got that to look
Still
forward
lots
to.
of soccer going on.
There's always soccer. Love it, Alan. Thank you. Great season. See you on the next one.
Later,
Good
Alan.
night, gentlemen.
How are you doing? How are you feeling?
I'm sad, dude. Like, I went to that game 1 at Petco Park because somebody gave me tickets.
And you fucked
It's
it
my
up?
first game that I've seen in person. It's the
And they
first
lose?
game that I saw, not in person, in a playoff game I saw in person. Yeah, they lost, but you know what? It was a memory that I'm never gonna forget. It was wild.
6-9 soccer. ¿Qué voy a hacer?
Good. Get this man a new contract. We'll try.
It's in the
We'll
works.
open the Patreon for you guys. We'll open the GoFundMe. Yes, 100%. Now the only soccer team in San Diego we talk about is Albion. Yes, soccer season cannot start soon enough.
Albion.
Soccers will have a really cool announcement coming up. We cannot disclose. There is World Cup streaming watch-alongs. Maybe, actually. That's actually pretty dope.
Great.
You guys need to wake
idea.
up early then. Early. You know it's coming.
Yeah. San Diego Wave and Tony's potty break. Can I rant off of what happened? My experience with Wave, at least this last game. Cool, perfect. I'm not taking it easy. I'm very upset. I'm upset, like Drake said. No, I know. This guy, he always takes a break. Must be nice. Anyways, San Diego Wave obviously also lost in a dramatic fashion. Last minute screamer. Could have been avoided probably with that header clearance. Wasn't the best. Wave started off winning. It felt different. I'm not gonna lie, they got 2 golazos scored on them, and 2 balls live from Qatar. No, dude, not Qatar. Qatar has a lot of strict regulations, and I don't have a passport yet. But anyways, Wave felt different too because it was a last minute thing, and they weren't playing bad. But the last 10, 15 minutes, you can kind of sense that goal was coming. Portland was just attacking. Sheridan was making some saves, some easy, some not too easy, and they were tough. But the goal happened. It was heartbreaking, and I went on the post-game media, like press conference, like I always do, or either me or Tony. And normally we're one of the first people to get chosen to ask questions, and we've had conversations because we've been told we're appreciated because we've been there since day one, and we always show up and we always put content for them as well. And again, we don't get paid for any of the content we put up, but it was unfortunate that for Casey's Tony, I wasn't selected to ask a question this time. A bunch of other people were selected before me, and it was frustrating just because we've usually get selected first to ask, and we've been at every single game, and we've gone to almost every single press conference unless we're unable to make it because of work and just schedule issues. But it was definitely frustrating not getting to ask Casey Stoney a question, which we usually
It was a good question.
we usually ask pretty good questions, and they know that. And for them to not let 2 balls in the mic ask Casey Stoney a question on the last press conference kind of sucked. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was. We were on a call on the AirPod, and I'll mute myself and just like, hey, are you still there?
Yeah.
It's not your turn. Oh, okay. Hey, ask this.
Yeah.
You know, no, just ask this. But we didn't have that chance, unfortunately. But the game itself, they play against Portland Thorns, who again, these two teams have gone back and forth. I don't know if you already said that.
Yeah, they have, and what I already said is just they started off winning and it felt a little different, right? Wave usually kind of start from behind and kind of like San Diego teams make a comeback, but this time they got scored on twice with golazos. That's what was different, and they were running on tired legs. They were just how the Chicago Red Stars was on tired legs at the end last game. That was San Diego Wave in this game.
Yeah, so I mean, they did play 120 minutes against Chicago Red Stars. I really don't think you needed that. Had you deployed Amir Ali a little earlier, I think you would have been able to.
I think tactics-wise, Stoney could have definitely made some subs. Amir Ali should have definitely came on earlier.
Yeah, exactly. And then obviously you had the two, obviously, arguably most important offensive players other than maybe Jaden Shaw at the end of the season. Alex Morgan and Korniak, who got cold after having a pretty good start. Connect here, cross, corner, cross into the header by Korniak. 1-0 again. Not from the territory,
For
but
them to
weird
score
territory.
early,
Yeah.
like it's impressive. It's like, oh shit, you normally don't see this from Wave.
Yeah, and so good play here by Morgan, and who, I don't know, like she had a
was wide
knee
open.
issue, but somehow revived. Like
It's impressive.
Like
It's really impressive.
really impressive how she came back. But then it's just a difficult game from there. You're playing away. You're playing on tired legs. Jaden Shaw only playing half of the game, then getting substituted out.
And she didn't have that good of a performance either. I mean, again, she's 17 years old.
Yeah.
Like in a semifinal game, it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
This goal, man. Oh no, that wasn't this one.
no, it wasn't. But no, yeah, as it's a young player, Caitlin Sheridan still just throughout the game, just showing her quality. And if there's one like world class player in this team, it's Caitlin Sheridan, like the most world class
but
of
you don't
world class
stop that,
teams.
though.
But
You
even
don't-
then,
you don't stop that, man.
you
Like,
have. I mean, I can't even stop that. Good deflection here. He goes out into the outside of the box, just volea into the corner. There's nothing to do there.
You don't think you're a better goalkeeper?
There is
than Caitlin
nothing to
Sheridan,
do
right?
there. I said even I wouldn't be able to stop that. So
Sack of shit.
what?
No shit, you don't stop that. You don't stop half the shots you would have
That's
stopped.
that's what I'm saying. That even a goalkeeper of my caliber, like, it was a great shot, great placed. She's you okay there, boy?
That was funny. Holy
Yeah, no.
yeah, no,
Out of
chulazo.
5, I
Golazo.
might stop 4 of those. No, I'm kidding.
That's why it's sort of fuerte. I can't even stop that. Get the fuck out, dude. Yeah, dude, te mamaste.
Nah, it's fine. Again,
Hey, you know what?
here's your take on Wave jerseys. Oh, ow.
Your fucking jersey sucked, Wave. Get better ones.
Yeah,
next
get better
season.
ones. Do better. The Thorns had a good jerseys. Maybe that's why they won, because they had better
They
jerseys.
had way better
superior
jerseys.
jerseyage.
Oh, by the way, Portland also broke the playoffs NWSL.
So
attendance
actually, I
record.
was seeing that, but officially, I don't think so.
Really?
Because
They
Wave,
mentioned that.
they mentioned it, but then Wave posted something by the numbers, and it was 26,000, still number one, and 23,000 here, and that was today. So
Petty.
I know
That's so petty. Holy shit. The atmosphere looked great. Like on
Yeah,
TV, you could hear it.
100%.
Like
100%. Again, tired legs. They played a lot of minutes, traveled. It just wasn't gonna.
And then the person that just scores the winner is done. Like, respected player in the U.S. women's national team, right? And the goal was coming. I was watching this game with my dad, and he's like, dude, they're going to get scored on.
Yeah, like that momentum was shifting. Like Portland was on the attack.
Like, that clearance should have been way better.
100%.
Like,
100%.
you don't header that to where you don't know where anyone's at.
Yeah,
And
no, it's a dangerous
What a
place to put
shot.
your head.
What
It's
a
a dangerous
shot,
place to put your
honestly.
head. Two, as Casey Stoney said, two worldies having to take is what's needed in this case. Is that Turnbow? Who was it?
I think it was Doniak.
Doniak,
that
oh,
cleared
yeah.
that, yeah.
I mean,
It's like a, oh, no, it was my fault. Oh.
it's a good shot, just lacing it through. I think that like even I would have difficulties with that one.
Oh,
it's-
my gosh.
It's unfortunate. This was late in the game, and that's what ended up just dispatching Wave out of the playoffs in their first inaugural season. Do I have the sound?
Got to
Yes, I
ask
do.
Korniak a question.
Yeah, let me find that.
I wasn't able to ask
Naomi Girma.
Naomi Girma a
So,
question either.
It was
so.
weird, the setup that they had. Like, you didn't have a veteran player come out and speak. Sources say that Morgan actually was the first one to just walk off the pitch instead of talking and talking with the teammates and this
Se
and that.
queda,
Like,
se va.
no, she's staying, but like sources let me know that was the case.
Yeah,
I mean,
you almost definitely want to have a veteran player do a press conference, right?
yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong; they gave really good answers, but you could tell the emotion was there.
yeah, and it's one of those things where I think, it's a difficult position to be in general. Korniak, and then I don't know, like why would they put him individually? Like it's just
I don't know. I don't know.
it's just weird. Trying to find where the boy asked. Were you on camera, boy? Did you turn on
Yes,
your
I
camera?
was.
So Korniak knows what you look like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised she didn't end the call right then and there.
I don't know. Maybe to cut it out.
Maybe they did cut it out. Actually, that's her listening.
The national team. You got
Yeah. Anyway.
well, yeah.
We'll find it. We'll find it
upload
and give that exclusive for you guys. But San Diego
San
Wave,
Diego Wave out as well.
Outsville, population.
From what we heard is that the NWSL offseason is wild.
Yes,
And a lot of changes happen. A lot of players leave. A bunch of new players come on. So we'll see what happens. The draft happens, so we'll see what happens.
the Sheridan versus Tony goalkeeping challenge coming soon. All I'll say is that
No le ganas, güey.
all I will say in that
No le
respect
ganas,
is
no
Kaylin
digas.
Sheridan is a world-class athlete and goalkeeper.
And you're not.
At some point, I could have been. At some
Vato,
point, I
vato,
could have
no
been.
way.
Has that moment passed? Absolutely. But I can, shake some of the rust off. There is a statue at Pechanga Arena. That's absolutely factual for what happened to your team in that game. Sheridan se la va a pegar a Tony. Oh, yeah. That's the
Todo fuerte is wild, bro.
loudest I heard a soccer stadium when they scored the winner. Yeah, no, that talking about memories. It's just one of those things. That there was a lot of good moments in San Diego Wave history.
my
Like
God.
playing Torero, like it was like, whatever. I'm so glad I'm not. If it doesn't happen, fuck that hill. I'm not walking that hill anymore.
Oh, yeah,
We
for
take
sure.
elevators like gentlemen.
Snapdragon has elevators, guys.
Um,
Trust me, you guys want to be there.
but
Yeah,
yes,
man, San Diego Wave. Tough way to end the season.
tough way to end the season. San Diego Wave are Outsville. But yeah, it was really cool. Nothing louder that I've heard about like that roar of that game winning goal. The season opener was dope. Like being invited there. The great Craig Elston, Kaylin Sheridan. What?
That's funny. That's dope.
Kaylin Sheridan. It's like we do it now. Like
Yeah.
if we're watching the game, like Sheridan like does anything. Kaylin Sheridan. The clearance by Naomi Girma.
Oh,
Tony
man.
jersey's hanging out in the rafters every time the Sockers play. Trust me, bro.
Source. Trust me, bro.
source. Thorthify. Yeah, it's not wrong. So
Trustmebro.com. ¿Y tus padres qué pedo, güey?
Kaylin
¿Qué
Sheridan.
le pasó a tus padres, güey?
Eliminated. I don't want to talk about it. If you want to talk about it in person and we can get a little group down and get some coffee, sit in a circle. Hi, my name is Tony Sanchez, and I'm a goddamn clown for fucking believing that the fucking Padres are going to make the World Series. I believe. That's what hurts, the belief.
Hi, Tony Sanchez.
It's real tough. Growing up all these years, watching Will Venables come, James Shields, some Edgar Gonzalez here, some Jed Jerko's there, and you let Corey Kluber walk, you let Anthony Rizzo leave. Trey Turner was once a Padre. Like you have all these great players that go on and win World Series, and you're just there, and then sometimes you just get that itch. You're just like, I need it. It's like, it's just like sometimes you just have ringworm. You just got to treat it. You just got to put some ointment on it. You just got to know what's on the back of the lotion, and it just led me down a dark path, and just knowing the fact that it leads that way, and it just destroys families, the hope. It's a real problem. I really think that I need to reevaluate a lot of stuff in the off season, and just be one with the sport, and just have no hope, and cry myself to sleep for the next year until baseball happens.
This is my favorite time of the year. Well, it's almost a favorite time. Baseball season's pretty much over, so it's the best time in the world.
We're sad. I'm sad. I know. I boy, cabrón.
Slate.
Oh, you don't want to? Oh, the boy doesn't.
No, we're
the
talking champion. We didn't talk Champions League last
The boy
episode.
wants to do it, boy. The boy wants to do it. The boy wants to do it. Oh, the boy.
Champions League, it's so tough this season because I don't have a team to root for in it.
Yeah, at all. Like, you guys are in a completely different league. You guys suck.
Oh, and that's why you guys couldn't beat us.
Yeah, no, we have injuries.
Oh,
but let's talk about Champions League, because Champions League is starting back up this week. A couple games. So let's look at the standings, right? See who's in, who's out right now. So you have Group A, Napoli, Liverpool, Ajax, and Rangers. Liverpool, Napoli pretty much dead set on there unless something amazing happens. Yeah. Unless Ajax just comes back up and Liverpool loses everything. Goal differential. I mean, it's just not looking good for Ajax, but I think that Group A is set. Club Brugge, the surprise of the Champions League. Porto
Atletico needs some work, man.
Yeah, so Atletico, Leverkusen still kind of have an outside chance, but Porto in that second spot. But Club Brugge is now pretty much in the clear.
There's something about this team in group stage that they're just freaking dominant, man.
Champions League, Bayern dominance is what Associated Champions League is of course in the first place there. Inter in 7th, Barcelona 3rd.
Yeah, Barca's pretty much out because they play Bayern Munich. There's no way to beat Bayern Munich.
What if they do? That'd be a huge upset. But what's the money line on that? We'll check.
But then Inter's gonna win too.
Oh, you never know.
You can't catch up to. No, mames.
Victoria.
Hey. No way. 16 goals against in 4 games.
Hey, Copenhagen beat Man City. What do you want me to tell you? Tottenham, Marseille, Sporting, and Eintracht Frankfurt.
I think kind of like expected, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is as expected. It's just, there's still an outside chance for Sporting Marseille to go up into first. But Tottenham should not fumble it here and should maintain the first place. They might. Chelsea in the first place as well. They can also be eliminated right now if things go south.
It's still up for grabs for anyone in this group.
It's still up for grabs
here
in Group E. Group F, Real Madrid, RB Leipzig, Shakhtar Donetsk. Still with a chance. Celtic pretty much virtually eliminated there. Man City, Dortmund, Sevilla, Copenhagen.
Expected. I think they're both
it's fine.
Pretty much already.
100%. My FIFA rated 87, Niklas Süle, should be going up to an 89, as well as my 88, Thomas Müller, should be going up into a 90 from FIFA 23.
You're playing a lot of FIFA, huh?
100%. PSG, Benfica, Juventus, Maccabi Haifa.
It's done.
It's done. PSG, done. Benfica is done. Dunzo. So let's look at these
has been trash
matches. Let's not. Do you want to go through all of them? Just throw the important ones.
Let's do the important.
I mean,
ones.
RB Salzburg, Chelsea at Chelsea. Chelsea should win that one. That's if they really want to be first and solidify
it's first
that.
and second, yeah. So that's gonna be very important match.
That's gonna be a good
winner.
match.
Winner's pretty much gonna get first place eventually.
Winner, chicken dinner. Sevilla, Copenhagen. I mean, Sevilla should be winning that one. PSG, Maccabi Haifa, not really interesting. Dortmund, Man City. Okay, the rematch of
the
Haaland.
Thing is, last
the Haaland
game you
derby.
played, you didn't play Haaland and you lost. And I mean, Haaland.
Unleash him.
He's a fucking monster, right?
Dinamo Zagreb, Milan, whatever. Benfica, Juventus, whatever. Shakhtar Donetsk, Celtic. Yikes.
Madrid, Leipzig, first against second.
First against second.
Again,
but
Madrid,
they're both qualified.
Madrid in Champions League
they
is
don't
just
need
a different breed. Like You can never rule them out.
100%. What's really heartbreaking in these times, what you see is like the fucking injuries of these players. Like Rafael Varane
especially
going
right now with
down.
the World Cup being in a
Who
month.
else? Who else went down? Somebody else went down. Liverpool, maybe?
Oh, was it Luis Diaz? No, Jota.
Oh,
Jota's
Diogo
out.
Jota. Yep, went down. So, I mean, it's...
Kante's out
this is
4
what happens.
months.
Kante's out of this World Cup. We should do that later.
Mhm.
Now that we don't have anything like, who's out?
Yeah.
World Cup.
We're going to have a lot of downtime in the podcast now. So.
Club Brugge, Porto, whatever, it's fine. Bayern, Barcelona, that's going to be the important one there.
Whoa. A little irrelevant, honestly. But it's a good,
Victoria
it's a good game to watch.
Victoria is going to win that one. Trust me, boy.
Dude, no way.
Wefalona, bro. Wefalona, boy.
There's no way, dude.
Ajax, Liverpool. Liverpool should win that one. Just slay any chances.
It was 0-0. Copenhagen didn't beat City. It was 0-0, which is still a win.
That's not a fucking win.
It's
That's,
still a
that's why.
fucking win,
I
yeah.
think that's why I clocked it as a win, just because
It's all
they
like,
tied.
They didn't get scored up. They tied. It's a win,
Yeah,
dude.
100%. Atletico Madrid, Leverkusen. Atletico Madrid really needs this one. That's going to be a good match. Napoli, Rangers, whatever. Tottenham Sporting. Okay, that's important too for that. Tottenham should be winning that one, but if they don't, it'll get interesting for them in the Champions League.
You know, we have some next week, but we'll cover those.
We'll cover those next week, obviously. So that's what's in for Champions League.
Oh, dude.
Those dudes are the reason the Padres lost. So
Valen vergas esos güeyes.
I hate those guys. KUSI gave them a platform, and I.
Are there any
resent them.
America fans in the chat? ¿Dónde está su 14? ¿Dónde está su 14, perros? ¿Y la 14? ¿Y la 14? Pendejos.
Don't get Johnny, yeah. Don't get Johnny, yeah. Let's look
Hey,
at some
Chelsea
of these.
sucks.
Let's look at some of these
Chelsea
comments that are coming in.
sucks. Let's just talk Chelsea Man U real quick. Did you watch it? Of course
Yeah.
you did.
So I mean,
No era penal.
no.
Not a
Did
penalty.
the referee call it?
Vete a la verga,
Did
güey.
the referee call it? Therefore, it is a penalty. I mean, I miss those games, dude. Like I miss the games that used to be so good.
Casemiro.
Casemiro.
Fergie time at
That's
Stamford
bullshit.
Bridge.
That's
Al
bullshit.
94. Kepa vale madre. Ah, Casemiro. Why we signed him? Not really why we signed him.
That's
but,
not why you signed him.
But
But
still, it fucking helps.
but that's what happens when you don't have Ronaldo and that toxic squad.
Ah, that's a different.
El
Me la pelas,
el
Chivas, Samuel.
dog, güey,
Y la 14,
Oh, the boys.
Chingue su madre la América y todos sus pinches fans de mierda.
Oh, he's a national hero.
El Toro Fuerte, pinche starting. Uf, Chiva que se la pela.
Oh, ¿te la pelas, güey?
No, al Sam, dice. He's
Oh, ¿te
instigating
la
shit.
pelas al Sam? Oh,
Toro Fuerte, I know what you look like now. So, yeah.
the boy.
Yeah.
It's
You
over
suck
for
in
you,
fantasy, by the way.
boy. But yeah, so,
What was that?
Asco is what that was. What the fuck were we saying? I don't even know. I'm lost the train of fucking thought.
Chelsea sucks. Couldn't beat Man U. But you guys are still on top of the table from us. So.
We're still on top of the table. I think we can get back to Premier League once this is over, just because we have a lot of time
yeah, I think
next week.
NFL pick'ems and fantasy football's next, guys.
Absolutely. So I think it's a good time
This is
to.
where we go from 20 to 10. What? People watching.
¿Hay 20 gentes viendo?
Yeah.
Estúpido.
Bájale esa música. güey.
Estúpido.
¿Qué, güey?
Estúpido. No sabes contar, güey.
Okay.
All right. Let's talk about it. Let's just start with the NFL pickups. Pick 'em.
All right. Yeah, let's go over them real quick to see who won last week. I think I'm ahead right now, like in picks.
All right, so we had the Friday before. Friday was after Thursday. The Thursday that had football. Saints versus Cardinals. Cardinals.
Really good game.
Really good game. Andy Dalton just being the red rifle of old. Andy Dalton from the Bengals, just
D-Hop was
interceptions
back,
galore.
which is huge for the Cardinals.
100%.
They gave Robbie Anderson in the trade because Hollywood Brown is out.
Hollywood Brown is out. And
I went Cardinals. You went Saints.
interesting. Kyler Murray ignored his gaming habits.
Don't worry. Next week, Cardinals shouldn't win because Modern Warfare 2 is out. So Kyler Murray's going to be busy.
Exactly. So he's gonna lose.
Yeah.
Browns Ravens. The Ravens win this one. I think I said Ravens, right?
You actually said Ravens. Yes, and I said Browns.
Yes.
Yeah. So, vale madre.
Cool. Buccaneers Panthers.
You skipped over the Commanders one, ¿no? ¿O no sale ahí?
No, no sale.
Oh, qué vergas.
Skipping
Okay.
Hey, qué
Where
pedo?
was it?
Yeah,
Where is
where is it?
it? It's not on there?
It's not on there.
Ah, ahí está, sí sale. Okay. Panthers, Bucks.
Panthers,
Oh,
Bucks,
we were
21-3.
both wrong.
Both wrong. Absolutely. No Christian McCaffrey anymore. Christian McCaffrey gets sent to the San Francisco 49ers. That is wild. The Bengals, Falcons. Bengals winning this one. Wait, hold on. I said Falcons.
You went
didn't I?
Falcons.
Damn it.
Yeah. Joe Burrito is my dog, homie. Top 5 fantasy quarterback.
Lions, Cowboys. Cowboys, Lions. Them
Went
boys.
Lions here.
I
And
went
the
them
Lions
boys.
Suck again.
They suck. Then they have one win, dude. They never not sucked.
But
Giants.
they're exciting to watch.
They're exciting to watch. Giants, Jaguars, exciting to watch. The Giants are on a tear.
It turns out that what's his name? Daniel Jones has more rushing yards than Najee Harris. That's true right now in the season.
True,
That's
true,
wild.
true.
Yeah, we both went Giants here.
100%. Then we had the Packers versus the Commanders. The Commanders. Carson Wentz willing his team to a victory, but
No. It was not Carson Wentz.
willing his team to a victory by breaking his finger.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Relax.
Tyler
Tyler
we both
Heineke.
went Packers here.
Tyler Heineke in that. So, I mean, that's the guy for the future for them. Colts, Titans, Matt Ryan, Matty Ice, put on ice. He is
You
done
went
for
Colts.
the season. I did go Colts.
I went Titans.
Damn. Then we have Texans, Raiders.
Josh Jacobs, 3 touchdowns, 140 yards. He broke
Really
a record,
good.
I think, for 140 plus yards and a lot of touchdowns in the last 3 weeks. What?
Really good play by Josh Jacobs there. Jets, Broncos.
We won the Raiders, by the way.
Awesome. Jets, Broncos. I went Jets. Please tell me I went Jets.
We both went Jets.
Jets, Jets. T-E-S, Jetus? No, Jets, Jets.
Yeah, the Broncos suck. No Russell
Jets.
Wilson in this game either.
No, Russell Wilson. It's over for Russell Wilson.
Chiefs 49ers.
This season, I think.
Que paliza.
49ers getting their ass whooped by the Chiefs 44-23 in that one.
both
Patrick
went
Mahomes
Chiefs
is
here.
wildly good. Seahawks, Chargers.
I don't know
lose everything.
what's going on. Geno Smith is just a really good quarterback. all of a sudden.
Freaky Friday. He
We were both
ate
wrong on this
the
one.
key of Russell Wilson. Like, it's just some magic.
Yeah.
We both went what? Chargers in this
Chargers
one?
in
Damn.
this one.
Steelers, Dolphins.
Tua was back. You went Steelers here.
I mean, I almost got it.
I
almost got it.
I went Dolphins.
Bears, Patriots. Nobody said Bears.
Nobody said Bears.
It's fucking Bears just keep winning somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know how on earth they do it.
I won.
Okay.
Another one.
Another
Right
one.
now, I'm up 1, 2, 3.
How many are you up now? Oh.
It's 4-2.
It's not bad because I'm about to be 4-3 after this week. All right, so this week has a couple of interesting games. First of all, Thursday night football. Ravens versus Buccaneers. Ravens, good team. Bucks,
The
I don't
Bucks
know who they
are
are.
just not looking good. I'm going Ravens
I'll
here.
go-
Ravens are the away team, but I'm going Ravens.
I'll go with the Ravens too. Good run game. J.K. Dobbins out for the foreseeable future, but Gus the Bus Edwards is up there.
Amazing. Customers.
So Ravens, Broncos, Jaguars, Jaguars.
I hate the Broncos. I'm going Jaguars too.
Yeah, Etienne season is upon us.
James Robinson got traded to the
Bye.
Jets.
To the Jets after Brees Hall tore his ACL. Dolphins versus the Lions.
Dolphins.
You
I
think
mean,
so?
yeah, I'm going Dolphins.
I'm gonna
too.
go Lions on this one.
Okay.
Go Lions.
I
Trap
was
game for the
already
Lions.
writing Dolphins. Yeah, I'm surprised.
Panthers, Falcons.
I'm gonna go Falcons.
I'm gonna go Panthers on this one. They're inspired without McCaffrey. There's
Okay.
a new je ne sais quoi about him. Cardinals, Vikings.
I'm going Vikings just because of that Modern Warfare shit.
Kyler Murray's
Yeah.
gonna be playing all night.
And the Vikings are coming off a bye week, so
Bears, Cowboys. Them boys versus the team that just beat
I'm going Cowboys.
Dak Prescott is back. Yeah, Cowboys should be winning that one.
I mean, the crowd were yelling Cooper Rush.
Ooh, good.
They didn't play too good.
Raiders, Saints.
Raiders.
Should win this one. Yeah, right?
I don't know. I'm going Saints.
I'm going Raiders.
Saints at home. I don't know. I
The
think Raiders
Pennsylvania
suck it.
Bowl, Steelers, Eagles.
I think you guys keep going undefeated here.
I think so as well. EAGLES, Eagles. The only Pennsylvania team that
Yeah.
has my respect.
Jets, Patriots. Patriots.
Brees Hall's out. Robinson in. Zach Wilson's playing good.
Yeah.
Who knows who's quarterbacking?
Oh man, the Patriots are just a wild card because they're not good either. I'm going Jets.
I'm also going Jets. God damn it. Texans, Titans.
I'm gonna go Titans. There's Texans.
I'm
Texans are
going
not good.
Texans. Just
Wow.
yeah. One of these is gonna hit. Giants, Seahawks.
This is a good game.
This is a really good
This is
game.
a-
This is a really good game.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought this would have been a good game?
It's all good. But Two Balls in the Mic is brought to you in part by Heartbreak. Are you a San Diego sports fan? Get some goddamn Tums in you for your heartbreak. And by, I don't know, pick something. What are we sponsored by?
California. La Parca. Lucha Libre.
And by Lucha Libre. Do you like overpriced burritos by the airport? Check out Lucha Libre and their semi-decent Mexican food. Lucha Libre.
I'm gonna go Seahawks.
I'll go Giants.
I know you want Giants. I think Seahawks at home are gonna take this.
Commanders, Commies, Colts. The Carson Wentz Bowl. The Carson Wentz Reject Bowl, but
Oh
he's
my
not
God,
playing.
This game is gonna be fucking boring to watch. I'm gonna go. Fuck me, dude. I'm gonna go Commanders.
And by Aflac. Do you need insurance? Buy a duck. Aflac is right for you.
Who are you going with?
The Colts.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. They play really well.
Rams, 49ers. Fuck.
49ers. Go with your Rams. Go with them.
I'll go with my Rams. I have to. Bills, Packers. Bills. This is the first time in Aaron Rodgers' career that he's minus, not favored by over double-digit points.
Yeah.
The Bills are minus 10.5 here. That's insane.
Bills are going to destroy.
Yeah, no, for
Bills
sure.
are going to destroy.
Bengals. I'm going Joe Burrito. You know that's my guy. My guy.
I'll go with the Bengals, too.
I'll
go with the Bengals, too. I'll go with the Bengals.
All right, we'll see. I'm up 4-2. I can afford a lose, actually. A
You
loss,
can
actually.
afford a loss here, but
But I won't.
but who knows if you will.
I won't. Fantasy, we won.
Yeah, no, we did win in fantasy. Let's just check that out real quick. As we had,
We fucking did so shitty. We got lucky that Infierno Demonios did so bad.
yeah, we got.
Oh, we have a pending move?
What's
We have
this?
a pending move?
Pending roster move.
Jeff Wilson for Michael Carter. Essentially 2 backups. I kind of rather keep Michael Carter,
Fuck yourself.
right?
Yeah. Decline and counter. Oh nope.
Later.
We'll decline it.
Will it let you decline it?
Decline. Decline.
No, I think you have to be locked in.
Well, it's declined. I'm telling you right now,
Yeah,
it's the
we're
fucking
declining
decline.
that shit. Yo, brrr, hace frío, dude.
It's wild. So we have the two balls
chat.
and
The
the mic.
chat was popping
Chat.
today.
I don't know if are we allowed to show everything?
Yeah, why not?
Chat's too quiet, said Corbin Williams. Fuck you, Corbin,
Corbin.
said Danny. Need some trades discussions and trash talk going up in here.
This was in Germany at the time. It's nighttime over there.
It's daytime.
I have absolutely
fucking
no
know.
reason to make a comment in this league.
My man is 0-6.
6?
We'll find out,
Maybe
actually.
he won.
Anybody interested in Mixon? Interesting. He's tried
Hey, you know what? I got Mixon from him in another league for Curtis Samuel and Rashad Bateman. We might be able to
Yikes.
steal Mixon from him.
Yikes. All right, so let's look at the scoreboard. So we had two balls winning
Victorious.
against the Infidel Demonios for Ramondre Stevenson.
Again.
God bless you. My move, though,
Johnson.
I put
That was
Johnson
all
there.
Tony. Good fucking shit. I'm giving you props here. I called them when I saw that and I was like, holy shit, dude. That was the best fantasy move I've seen in a while. Like
That was a
ballsy.
wild. Yeah. Is Giants Seahawks really the best ones? Yeah, maybe. The bittersweet realization when you really don't have any sports to watch until the soccer and Steelers start up. I slayed the dragon, fellas. Don't call it a comeback. Oh, did he really?
Let's see
Let's
this.
see.
Let's see.
All right, so if anyone one we beat Korean Pie versus
Yes,
Corbin.
he did.
Wow.
Yes, he
Wow.
did.
Wow.
Everyone just had poor
Everybody
performance
said, yeah.
except for CSI Hernandez.
Cesar Hernandez destroying Pobrecito Te Pico el Hoyo.
Oh my God. 0-7.
Aquiles Castro.
0-7.
Oh no, you're banned from the league next year. You cannot go 0-7.
Dude, you cannot.
I think they should do that. Relegation. If you're last place, you're out.
I'm down for that.
That's pretty
for
dope.
Sure.
Corbin, Danny.
Danny lost again too.
Losing. He has
Oh
2
my
victories
gosh.
though. Impressive by the boy, the fool.
How do I get beat by SD Fleet? Oh man. Sorry, Chris.
I'm so sorry, Chris. I think
You guys
you
were
said
both
that.
3-3.
We saw him at the Loyal games. How do I lose to
lose?
Weston?
How was DJ Moore his highest points?
That's
Dang.
wild. And then Mini Vikes, the team that we beat last
Lost,
time. Ooh. In Golf We Trust, that was a good 4-2 teams. 4-2 is going at it.
And Golf We Trust is Brandon, right?
I believe so.
Dang, all
so
right, Brandon.
that leaves the standings so far looking like so. 2 balls.
We're 4-3.
Not bad. We're 4-3. We're coming
And
back
Corbin's
up.
going
And he just
4-3 too.
lost. But SD
SD
Fleet's
Fleet's
4-3.
4-3.
If you on them one is
3 and
lost.
4.
Okay, cool.
Danny lost.
On this side, you got Mini Vikes, he's gonna go down probably. In Golf We Trust will
4-3.
go there. CSI
5-2.
Hernandez will go up. Brentwood. This is a nice league.
Yeah, it's
This
competitive.
is a nice
It's very
competitive
competitive.
league,
Yes,
guys.
it is.
Congratulations. All right, we've got the
We're
schedule.
just gonna motivate us to keep trying even harder now.
Yeah, absolutely. So week 8, we have Corbin Williams going up against Javi. 2 heavyweights. That's a heavyweight battle.
That is a good one,
Good
yeah.
teams going up. The Pico Loyo, can he
5-2,
finally
4-3.
get a win against Danny?
Oh my God,
The
Danny! If
shittiest
you
team.
lose to this
The
guy,
shittiest team. I
that's your
love
boy
it.
against my boy.
That's your boy against my boy, actually. Yeah, that's
Oh
wild.
wow, I need him to
The
win.
fool Adrian against Weston. Take out all the frustration on each other
Okay.
from the loyal season here. just go all out. Chris against Jesse. That should be a good one. Chris's team is sneaky good.
Yeah.
In Golf We Trust with Brandon against the boy Ivan. Orozco Infino Demonios. And
That's a
then we
good one.
got us against J
The
Paps.
boy,
who
J
just
Pap.
beat Corbin. So watch out.
All
with
right.
Kareem.
We had
Pie.
Stephon Diggs on the bye week, so he's back, and AJ
He
Brown.
is
So,
absolutely back.
gonna be a good one.
Thank you for joining us. Drink Califino, I guess. 20% off. 2 balls 20.
Yes, sir.
You guys are the best. Thank you
Later,
for this
guys.
great season of
San Diego
soccer.
Loyal Soccer Wave.
Wild. If you guys want to keep the conversation going, let us know at 2 balls and a mic. Follow us. Tell people to subscribe. We need to grow. We need to make the World Cup.
We
That's
need
what
more
we're gonna focus on.
subscribers, guys. Have
We
your
need
friends subscribe.
subscribers. You need it.
Subscribe.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. You guys are the best. You got to buy next week, says J Paps. Okay. First promotion. Oh, okay.
I like that talking shit.
We'll
Yes,
talk
sir.
about it. But yeah, thank you guys for joining. You guys are the best. Thank you. Bye.
Good night.